And that's all.
All right, so it's getting really close to Halloween here, so we're going to do a little Halloween show. And basically the perspective that I'm going to take on Halloween this year is going to be I'm going to share with you guys some electronic voice phenomenon that a friend and I captured back in October, November, and December of 2007. So it's been these are quite old. So I'm going to share 3 of them, and you'll hear them in succession. I play them each 3 times, a couple of times in a row. Then you'll hear all 3 of them 3 times. Okay. All right. So these were recorded. We recorded these in cemeteries, at churches. We recorded them at accident scenes where someone may have died, in an accident, a wreck. But now, I'm not going to share a whole bunch. There's some that I'm just not going to share. But these right here are just very personal for me. And I say that because they were recorded at a church, which has a cemetery beside it, where my grandfather and his brother were buried. And, of course, my grandfather passed away in 1992. So that was 30 years ago this year. He actually passed away in May, though, of that year. At any rate, so this first one here, and again, you're going to hear 3 in a row of this first one, and then 2 other ones 3 times. But the first one, what I hear from it, and it changed over time. My grandfather's name was Proctor, everybody called him Proc Pennington, and his brother was Gus Pennington. And so what I thought it was saying for years, I was listening to it, and you have to listen. Now, EVP stuff is kind of controversial. Some people believe in it, some people don't. I'm just telling you what I hear from it. So basically on all 3 of these is when I was turning off the tape. And I figured that after a while that every time I was turning off the tape, of course it could be something, the mechanism that was going on. I believe that this was recorded with an actual cassette tape. Could have been a digital recorder. I just can't remember. It's been so long ago, 15-something years ago. At any rate, on all 3 of these, when I was turning off the tape or turning off the recording, is when it captured whatever this is. So this first one, again, my grandfather was Proc, and his brother was Gus. And for years, I thought this first one was saying, Gus and Proc have got something to say. And then you can hear the tape going, and cut off. And, and then now, though, I wonder if it's not saying something different. I wonder if it's saying the ghost of Proc has got something to say. I'm still leaning more toward Gus, but I think it could also be the ghost of Proc. But now what we were doing when we went there, we were walking around in the cemetery and was like, does anyone have anything to say? And that's what we got. Of course, later, right after this was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, we went back. We went home and we listened to the end of it on a computer, a few miles down the road, and then came back and had something very scary happen. She was, my friend Angie, and you'll hear her name in just a minute, was at one end of the church sitting on the floor, and I was at the other end of the church sitting on the floor, and we said, so what does Proc have to say? And this light blew up from the middle of the church, and you have never seen, and I had to run past where it went up. It didn't blow up, it just went, a light started at the floor and went to the ceiling. We ran out of there, and of course that was the last one I ever recorded. It scared me so bad. I was like, I'm never, ever, ever going to do this bullshit again. I'm done with it. I'm done. All right, so that's the first one. Now, the other one was also recorded at this church, the same church, and this was standing outside the door of it. Both of them these last 2 were recorded standing at the door, going out on different days, different occasions. Now, this one is the second one. It sounds like it's saying, who do you call if nothing's left? Fear. Who do you call if nothing is left? Fear. Who do you call when nothing is left? Fear. That's what I hear from it. It's kind of weird. But this is the most, to me, it is the most discernible, kind of. But let's go to the third one. Again, my friend that was with me was Angie, and this was a friend of mine. You know, we weren't involved in any other way, except for we were friends and had been friends since high school. The last one is, again, we were leaving out that night, whatever night this was. I think it was in December the 2nd of 2007. This is closer to the end of our thing at another place, at another time. I think maybe the Proc was after. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of confusing to me, but I know that, no, actually the Proc thing, I never went back again. So this had to have been earlier. But, and you can hear me saying, and that's all, because I'm turning off the cassette or the recorder, and then it makes a noise and says, Angie, speak up. Angie, speak up. Anyway, that's what we think it says. And of course, I'm a little bit confused on the actual dates and times. It's been 15 years ago. A lot of water went under the bridge. Well, not a lot of water this year because we're in drought conditions. But see what you think. I mean, have you ever experienced electronic voice phenomenon? Have you ever, done any quote unquote ghost hunting and captured any of these EVPs? I'd like to hear from you. Anyway, happy Halloween. And that's all. 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 And that's all.